Everyone, Chloe here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, ladies and lurkers, welcome. So today's feminine school video may be a bit triggering for those of you who are lurking and ear hustling, but this video is very necessary for women who desire to put the masculinity stick down for good, and for women who fully want to completely dedicate themselves and their lives to their feminine journey. Now, experiencing success on your feminine journey is a lot about the unlearning of what not to do. And we all know that it is important to change and improve upon the top layer of your feminine appearance with feminine looks, but femininity is like a 7-layer cake, and the energies of hostility and masculinity cannot be hidden or deceptively covered with lipstick and a dress, because those energies are a vibe and a frequency and a wavelength that will always be felt by others. So when a woman's presence is dripping in hostility and resentment, that is not something that can be hidden. So this video is all about the anti-seductive archetype and a feminine school label that women, specifically Black women, need to know. And that label is called the Sapphire. Now, before I get started, for those of you who don't know what anti-seductive means, it means the actions by which a person is completely turned off by another person. And in order for a woman to be successful and to sustain success in femininity, it will require a working knowledge of how to combine the invisible but very powerful forces of seduction and feminine energy and the mystery that is required to be successful in relationships with high value men. Because any woman can be in a relationship with a dusty and a low value man, but every woman cannot and will not attract nor sustain a relationship with a high value man if she is a sapphire. So it is very important that a woman who seeks quality dating experiences and quality suitors and quality companionship be highly aware of when she is being anti-seductive and when she is emitting toxic masculine energy and toxic hostility and angry vibes. Because most women who speak in sapphire mannerisms and sapphire stereotypes and who lead and dwell in sapphire energy are not even aware of how much they are self-sabotaging themselves with the way that they speak and the energy that they project. Now, the sapphire archetype, aka the peddler of misery, was initially a cartoon character and a defamation label, and was and is historically rooted in the wholesale tarnishing of the image of Black women as naggers and complainers and as naturally unhappy and bitter-spirited women. But before you come for me with your ashy knuckles, I will clarify that women of all races and nationalities are highly guilty and highly capable of being miserable and argumentative and brash and unfeminine and hostile. However, when it comes to Black women, the Sapphire is a label that has been bonded and superglued to the birthright and the life story and the narrative and the thought process of Black women to the point of wholesale detriment. And unfortunately, an overwhelming amount of Black women will radiate, drip, reinforce, uphold, and be consistent in their perpetuation of this very damaging trope and this very damaging stereotype that permanently stains the image of Black women in a perpetually negative light. And before you lurkers try to twist and rearrange my words with your pretzel logic, of course Black women are allowed to be angry. And of course Black women are allowed to express a range of emotion. However, typecasting yourself as a sapphire is a surefire way to lose at the game of femininity, especially when you want to win. So definition-wise, the sapphire is the extroverted, she is extra, cantankerous woman who notoriously does not think before she speaks. The sapphire woman is not a listener. She is a reactor. And her reputation, and remember ladies, your reputation is everything. The sapphire's reputation is that of a woman who is considered rude and malicious and petty and stubborn and overbearing and toxic. And she is an irrational woman who has a problem for every solution. And this anti-seductive stereotype is highlighted, featured, and widely celebrated in mainstream popular culture and entertainment. The sapphire is what is considered the stereotypical never satisfied Black woman, the angry Black woman. And she is known to have a venomous tongue. She is emasculating. She is committed to her misandry, and she is categorically and stereotypically known to mock black men for a laundry list of offenses that range from being the face of cheating and being the face of abuse and abandonment and being perpetually unemployed, as if other races of men are not capable of these same offenses. The Sapphire is also considered a nagger and an agitator who is day and night consumed with misplaced anger, righteous indignation, and she also has a reputation of elevating the petty to the extreme. And as a woman who is also considered to be naturally mean spirited, the Sapphire is also known for elevating imagined slights and looking to be offended, and she is always looking for a verbal fistfight, and she is always ready to spew her venom to anyone whom she feels insults or disrespects her slighted ego. Her speciality, the harsh and critical judgment of others, finger wagging for sport as if her life is perfect, and not allowing others to grow in their imperfections and their own evolution. The Sapphire, make no mistake, is a domineering woman, and her hypersensitivity to injustices make her a perpetual complainer, but she does not criticize to improve things. Rather, she criticizes out of her frustrations without ever offering up solutions. And she also criticizes to energize her bitterness and to spread her misery to overcompensate for her lack of personal unhappiness, personal satisfaction, and a profound lack of fulfillment. And fulfillment, ladies, is a huge, huge issue for today's modern woman. The Sapphire's endgame is all about being worshipped for the elevated attention that often comes with being negative and spreading negativity. And with the Sapphire, the more negativity she can spread, the more attention she receives. So, why is the Sapphire considered anti-seductive? Because women who are day and night consumed with negative energy are a complete turnoff to high value men, and perpetual negativity kills feminine energy and destroys the ability of feminine potential to blossom and thrive and flourish. Now, for women who consider themselves a Sapphire, or for women who are listening who struggle with misandry and man hate, there is very, very little wiggle room for femininity to be at its best, because this Sapphire is a woman who is inclined to get into her own way with toxic blocked energy. And drop a comment below if you would like to see a video on the 7 major energy blockers of femininity. Now, the reason why some women are inclined to embrace the Sapphire archetype goes as follows. Some women will use this archetype because they don't feel good enough and they struggle, heavily struggle, with toxic levels of low self-esteem. Some women will use this archetype to project their hurts and frustrations onto others. Some women will use this archetype as a mask to cover up their deep, deep unhappiness. Some women will become this archetype because they are lonely and loneliness hurts. And some women will become this stereotype to reject others before others reject them as a defense mechanism. So sometimes a woman is just a pure ball of nasty energy because of her unhealed trauma and hurt from her personal past. And some women will become this stereotype and this archetype because getting attention for being negative will always be better than being invisible. So that is all that I have to say on this for now. The Sapphire archetype is probably one of the most self-sabotaging and damaging archetypes that a woman can perpetuate, because this archetype is very hateful and a very miserable way to live. And for the most part, life as a Sapphire is filled with lots of emotional and psychological sickness, and is unfortunately filled with the bloat of anger and depression that often leads a woman to a very, very, very unhappy life. But more importantly, living and dwelling as a Sapphire is an incredible blessing blocker, and you cannot attract healthy masculine energy if you are standing wrong and strong in your rage, your anger, and your resentment and your defiance because of your own unhealed hurt. So, ladies and lurkers, now it's your turn. What celebrities do you believe perpetuate the Sapphire archetype? And have you ever experienced the nastiness of a Sapphire? And are you a woman who gets secondhand embarrassment from women who perpetuate this stereotype? And have you ever blocked your own blessings with open hostility? Share your triggered thoughts and your comments below. And stay tuned for more feminine content to come. And I will catch up with you ladies and you lurkers in the next one.